So I knew that I was due to post, and I would have done a proper vlog. But right now I'm feeling a frustration and anxiety that is really best suited to a more stream of consciousness style. Um, this is a post talking about study abroad, as well as perhaps even a professional rating, editing, and publishing type post, because the frustration I'm currently feeling likely could have been avoided um, by some careful editing and maybe some usability testing. Uh, because I was folding laundry. I'm in my parents' room right now, and the laundry baskets are on the floor behind the laptop. I was folding the laundry and flipping through some documents for studying abroad, trying to figure out a preliminary list of things that I should pack. And I saw that when they were discussing the bank statements necessary to be allowed clearance into the UK, necessary for immigration, they often said checking account instead of just bank account. And I thought, well, I have more than enough money in my savings account, which is, in the same name and under the same umbrella as my checking account, to get into the UK. But I only have about $200 in my checking account because I only use it to write checks, and I typically only use those to buy books because I didn't get a credit card until recently for the UK trip. So there wasn't much money in my checking account. So I freaked out because you have to have money in your account for 28 consecutive days prior to arriving in the UK. And I'm leaving in 16 or 17, I don't know. When the number gets smaller, it freaks me out, so I try not to think about it. I'm excited, definitely, but I'm also a extremely neurotic person who is prone to, anxiety. So we're just not going to talk about it right now. I am excited though. I'm very blessed and lucky to be able to be doing this. But I freaked out because if I don't have sufficient money in my account now, I will be denied entry into the UK. So I started a frantic search on the Study Abroad website, and it provided inconclusive data. Sometimes they say bank account, sometimes they say checking account. And I tried calling the office, and I got a student representative who gave the phone to a professional, not that a non-student rep, and then they transferred me to the coordinator for UK study abroad, and she wasn't in the office. And at this point, I'm tearing my hair out, feeling extremely nervous and thinking, oh god, what have I done? So I sent her a carefully worded email. I read it over a couple of times because I knew I was very upset. And then I looked at the UK immigration website, the official site, and this must be extremely boring. It's very tense and important for me, but really, what are we talking about right now? Like immigration policies, that's so boring. I looked at the UK immigration website, the border clearance website, and they don't say checking account at all. They say, if I can pull it up here for the official language of it, where'd you go? When you show that you have enough money to pay for your course fees and living costs, this money must take the form of cash funds in the bank, including savings account and current accounts, even when notice must be given, and or a loan letter and or other financial or government sponsorship available to you. So they don't say checking at all, they say savings. So I'm convinced that I should be okay, because again, I have more than enough money to support myself in the UK for 6 weeks. It's just in my savings account, which is mailed. My dogs are barking. The bank statement that has been mailed to me says savings and checking on the same statement. They just do two separate lines. So anyway, remember to breathe. That was my dilemma for the last half hour. I shared it with Ashley J, not Ashley San or Ashley of Holland, but the girl who I'm going on this trip with. We're going to the same college in London, but with different professors for different programs. I'm going for English, and she's going for social science because she wants to be a teacher, because she likes kids much more than I do. And she's a very gifted and talented young lady, and I'm very envious of her empathy and her ability to work with children. But yeah, so I told her about that, and she had a heart attack too. And now I've talked at you for 5 minutes on it, and nobody will probably listen to this all the way through because it's just me having a nervous breakdown over practically nothing except a lot, because a lot of hopes and dreams and careful planning is riding on this money. And my mother is home, so I can talk to her about all this, and she'll probably just look at me and shake her head and go, Allegra, that's an hour and a half of your life that you'll never get back. But I knew I was due to make a post, and I want to talk about how inconsistent verbiage can cause frustration and panic, and sometimes great loss of money if this had been a real issue, and that you should test your documents to make sure that 19-year-old students know exactly what they need from them. Yeah, there's a lesson to be learned from this, I think. An editing lesson, an editing and publishing lesson, a usability lesson, a lesson for anyone who designs a documentation or important Word documents or files or pamphlets or anything. So that's my professional writer lesson of the day. I hope that this message finds you better than me. As you can see, I'm totally frazzled, and I still have a load of laundry to fold, and my mother is already home. So, good day. Do not forget to be awesome. And if you've watched this all the way through, I owe you a cookie.